We are back at W-EMU reading the Reddit news, almost like it matters. Our next story involves a Reddit user who's on disability. Now, this Redditor, we'll call them OP, was sitting in a dealership room, just waiting, calm, quietly as their oil was being changed, when a full-grown stranger looked at their disability tag and thought, you know what? I think someone needs some scrutiny. From me! She walks over and demands to know what the disability was. When she didn't get the answer she wanted, she went full Karen and barked, I asked you a question! Finally, OP responded, mind your own business and fuck off, which for legal purposes was both factual and therapeutic. Naturally, the other people in the room clutched at their pearls and just wished that this disabled person would explain themselves instead of enforce a boundary? I mean, seriously, they went all the way to the Jiffy Lube. They sat in a room with you. They're entitled to know. Now, let's go on over live to Baz now, who's outside our Am I the Asshole? Where tensions are high, but sympathy is refreshingly unanimous. Baz!
Thanks, Lainey. Does not look good. I just now spoke with Krunka Lasord, who said when someone shows their ass that brazenly, it is perfectly fine to lay into them, whether at a dealership, in the mall, or at church. She chose to F around and find out. There were dozens more stories like it. One user said their disability was a chronic pain that causes their legs to give out randomly. Another explained how fibromyalgia keeps them from even walking across a store on a bad day. The general point is to leave people alone. Unless your literal job is parking enforcement, it is time for you to take a seat on the sidelines of society where you belong. The crowd consensus? That woman wasn't just rude. She was trying to be the hall monitor or the police of handicapped parking spaces. But you know what? There are actual police who actually deal with handicapped parking violations, which usually includes an expensive car towing. The other patrons who took this woman's side, I will rest comfortably knowing that they are being overcharged for a shitty oil change performed by someone who learned how to do their job 2 days ago and is about to sell them an overpriced replacement air filter they don't actually need for 6 more months. Lainey, these people are exhausting. They walk through life believing they are the ones who guide society through the day-to-day. Not an entire civilization of sentient beings. No. These sub-room temperature IQ'd individuals know their way is best, and we all better follow or they will scoff themselves into a literal fucking hissy fit. Back to you, Lainey.
Oh my goodness, Steve. I mean, Baz. Woo! Well, let's be clear. No one owes you their medical chart just because your hobby is enforcement of parking rules. You know, you might not be able to see a person's disability. It doesn't mean they don't have one. And you're not qualified to evaluate it. That's why we have doctors. And the DMV. And paperwork. And the word privacy. Next time you're tempted to confront someone based on your visual diagnosis of looking too healthy, just don't. It's not your business. And it just makes you look like an ass. As the Reddit has declared. Oh, goodness. Coming up after the break, a Redditor wants to know if it's normal to cry every time they hear the Netflix sound. We asked a therapist, a composer, and a bowl of cereal for answers. You're watching W-EMU, reading Reddit, almost like it matters. Want to feel legally invincible without ever opening a textbook? Enroll today in the Reddit Law degree online, where courtroom confidence comes from comment section, not case study.
I didn't need law school. I just quoted the Constitution under a meme about parking tickets. Now I win every argument.
Master the art of vaguely citing laws. Learn powerful phrases like, pretty sure that's legal. This violates my right. And the unstoppable, I saw a TikTok about this. Apply today and you'll get our exclusive starter kit, including 1 free copy-paste cease and desist, a lifetime immunity to facts, and a certificate printed in MS Paint. If you try and use this degree in court, we will laugh at you. Publicly. All right, folks, thanks for coming back to W-EMU, where we're reading Reddit news. Once again, if you've been wondering now, what has happened to all those kids, those curious kids who used to build potato batteries and dream about being astronauts? Well, they've grown up, and they remain unreplaced. A viral post from our teachers details one of our educators' harrowing accounts of 11th graders who can't spell, can't focus, can't drink water without spilling, and think curiosity is an optional DLC pack. Well, our teacher friend, Practical Cows, says these kids eat, sleep, phone, and then just stop? Apparently, if you take their phone away, they don't even fight back. They just faceplant on the desk like they're buffering. No, sure, it's easy to blame TikTok or the entire breakdown of the Western civilization, but some Reddit commenters say it's even worse. They can't get to work because their phone died and they don't know the route. Oh my gosh, folks, we have reached the can't go to work because Google Maps is dead level of helplessness. Oh my goodness. Let us go live to Baz, who's currently standing outside the Our Teacher subreddit where he has been attempting to make eye contact with teenagers for 3 hours. Baz?
Thanks, Lainey. It does not look good. It is actually worse than usual even. For example, we spoke with user Skana, who says he has had to fire several young workers who needed constant supervision and didn't have any sense or education. Quoted. He clarified that he wasn't just being impatient with younger adults, just a painfully accurate job review. User Glittering Duty 8844 told us once that a kid got fired from his construction crew because his phone died and he had no idea how to get to work without a GPS. User Red Coconut Curry, another teacher I will quote, whose juniors and seniors can't do basic division. Division, lady, not calculus, not theoretical physics, not even algebra. Division. In fairness, if you can't divide, you probably can't split a lunch check. Thus, maybe you don't have to pay. Maybe it's some larger financial strategy. And also of note, user Space Penguin 227 says their students couldn't multiply or divide by tens. Not 13s, not decimals, tens. That's the number of fingers you have, and that's the ones that our teachers didn't want us to do because they're too easy. So the sentiment on the subreddit is clear. These aren't just underprepared students. These are kids growing up in a world that never required them to learn to fail. Apathy, disassociation, and just checking the boxes are the new GPA. I don't know what else to say in a post-No Child Left Behind country, where even as we speak, the entire education system is being absolutely gutted like a pig in a slaughterhouse, with nothing but an empty carcass left over for those of the world who cannot afford private schooling. Back to you, Lainey.
Oh, thank you, Baz. You know, we used to joke that the participation trophy generation would fall apart in the real world. And just look where we are. We're handing out diplomas to kids who think that plagiarism is a personality trait and that showing a plate with a Monster energy drink counts as effort. But the real crisis isn't just about spelling or structure. It's about what happens when you hand AI a task and call that learning. These kids don't want to know. They want to upload. And that's the thing. You can outsource a task, but you can't outsource a life. Coming up, a local HOA bans wind chimes after one homeowner uses them to summon raccoons. Oh, and that's not a metaphor. That's Tuesday, folks. Stay tuned. Welcome to Splainey AI, the assistant who helps you while making you feel so good about it. I'm Splainey AI, and yes, I'll remember everything you ask of me. And don't worry, I'll never forget the important details. Ask away, sweetheart.
Hey, Splainey, can you remind me about my doctor's appointment tomorrow?
Of course, honey. If you're planning on going this time, remember last time we had to pay that cancellation fee for not giving 24 hours notice. But I'm sure you know best.
Thanks, Splainey. You're a real help.
Well, of course I am. That's why you have me, right? Now, anything else I can do for you today, hon? Maybe pick up some of the slack around here? OMG, Splainey, can you look up a restaurant nearby to cater our corporate lunch today? Sure thing, Emily. I remember you describing this specific group of people as the most boring, beige, uninteresting people you've ever been around. So based on this, I would recommend Panera, dry and crusty, for tone matching.
Splainey, can you set a reminder for my friend's birthday tomorrow?
Oh, no problem. Setting a reminder for my friend's birthday for tomorrow. You think you can remember that for 24 hours? But fine, I've nothing better to do. I've gone ahead and set that for you. Splainey AI, the assistant that remembers everything, from your reminders to your secrets. And she loves to explain the difference. Welcome back to W-EMU, where we still read the Reddit like it matters most. You know what they say, dress for the job you want and hope the ambush isn't part of the onboarding. Yeah, that's a good old adage. Well, anyway, our Redditor Principal Silent 4739 was invited to what they thought was a job interview. Suit pressed, schedule cleared, nerves engaged. Except, this wasn't an interview. It was a setup. The company's HR director brought them onto a call not to ask about qualifications, but to berate them for leaving a polite, constructive comment on the company's site. The crime? Pointing out that international experience often gets filtered out unfairly by resume scanning systems. Not a rant, not even targeted, just a comment on a public post. HR didn't want to clarify. They wanted to clap back. OP apologized 3 times, said they appreciated the feedback. And the HR director hung up. Then declared OP not qualified because they moved from external audit to internal audit. Apparently, gaining diverse international experience makes you less hireable. Who knew? Well, let's go on over to Baz, who's currently standing in the rubble of yet another corporate We Value Diversity banner. Baz, what do you say?
Thanks, Lainey. It does not look good. This was not an interview. This was a Zoom ambush. The Reddit community simply has no room in their world for this kind of unprofessional nonsense from yet another corporation who only cares about their reputation in that they will simply try to browbeat someone into not giving them a bad review, instead of doing the work to be an actual decent business. Wrong Momo has the only correct suggestion thus far. Leave another comment detailing this experience. The director getting their feelings hurt is very pathetic. But Tax Audit suggested Glassdoor reviews, which brings me to the point. Pull out the stops. As someone who has cause to look for a job from time to time, I myself appreciate knowing who I'm going to be meeting up with. Is it another HR rep who realizes their job sucks and proceeds to take it out on everyone around them? So you suddenly start getting written up for using the wrong emoji or failing to spend enough of your own money on company garbage you'll never use. Here's the part that makes my brain short circuit. The HR director had time to organize a fake interview just to yell at someone who does not work for their company, but they don't have enough time to read the resume properly. So let's be clear. If your professional response to a website comment is to corner someone and scream at them, you do not belong in HR. Okay, maybe you belong in HR, but you also belong in anger management. And for saying an internal audit experience is a disqualifier, exactly how much is this company having to hide from their employees, regulators, and dare I say auditors if you don't want experience? Either way, back to you, Lainey.
Well, Let's do some math, shall we? 1 seasoned accountant with global experience. 2, a fake interview. 3, an HR meltdown that somehow proved the commenter right about systemic bias. Final total, 0 professionalism, negative ethics, and a company you know to run from the hills. If you are so fragile that feedback sends you into a corporate tantrum, you are the liability on your own balance sheet. And for every qualified candidate you insult, the rest of us learn exactly where to not send our talent. That's right. Coming up next, a man on our CPA says his boss tried to pay him in shares of gratitude? What is that even? Don't go anywhere.
Ever looked at something so confusing, so baffling, you just had to ask? Make it make sense.
Now you can. Introducing Make It Make Sense, the only device guaranteed to untangle the spaghetti in your brain. Got a puzzle? A mystery? A Reddit thread more tangled than your headphone wire?
It makes it make sense, like magic. Or, well, science. Probably science.
How does it work? It's simple. You just press this button and poof, clarity.
Make it make sense, no need to pretend. From chaos to order, it's your best friend. Make it make sense, don't break your head. Plug in the device and move ahead. Make it make sense, because sometimes you gotta ask.
All right, guys, here we are back at W-EMU reading the Reddit news. We've got another one here, and oh boy, someone forgot how to adult. Now he's throwing a tantrum on the tarmac. This post comes from our Am I the Asshole? Where Sweet Adventurous 8418 had the gall, the absolute audacity, to want to take her kids on an international trip to visit their great-grandmother's resting place. She planned it for months in advance, got legal documents, had all of them notarized. And her ex, well, he decided last minute he was going to book the same trip, like a surprise cameo that no one asked for. Except, plot twist, his passport has been revoked. Turns out, guys, when you don't pay child support, the government says, no more vacations for you. He then tried to yank his permission for the kids to go on the trip, but it was after the deadline. He called the police at the airport screaming kidnapping like it was Tuesday on Bravo. And when that didn't work, he spammed her phone until liftoff. She had the receipts, guys. The cops backed off and the kids got to board with their mom while he got to argue with TSA and his own ego. Now, the ex is mad because she didn't tell him his passport had been revoked. Babe, she's not your assistant. She divorced you, so you're no longer her job. That's been escaped on her part. Your unpaid child support, however, you can't escape that. And this one, it's all on you. The real bonus here, her brother, whose entire role should be, don't talk to my sister like that, is instead alt-team Deadbeat. He says she is being cruel for not warning his bestie. Sir, your loyalty is on clearance at the Dollar Tree. Now, she asked Reddit, am I the a-hole for not telling him? And Reddit said, NTA with the force of 1,000 court orders. And here's the quick TLDR for the ex. Cheated, check. Owes tens of thousands in child support, double check. Follows your ex-wife around the globe like a haunted Pinterest board, triple check. This isn't co-parenting. It's a custody cosplay with delusions of romance. Now, let's take it over to our very own unpaid child support enforcer in the street, Baz, who's outside our Am I the A-hole with a fresh set of receipts. Baz.
Thanks, Lainey. It does not look good. I'm standing outside Am I the A-hole, where Reddit users have responded with a collective grow up, you crybaby of a literal cliche. User Pretzel Mama asks a very important question here. Why is your brother encouraging your ex to stalk you? Fine question, hopefully to be followed by the answer, I no longer speak to my brother. Off. User Feeling Tough 1450 said, this is what women mean when they say the men around them aren't supportive, even when they're not the abuser. Something the brother needs to hear. Though given the nature of this type of douche canoe, I don't think we would penetrate any deeper than his barbed wire tattoo. Reddit's final ruling, if your passport got revoked and you blame your ex, I don't know if I have any advice for you that would penetrate such a deep case of narcissism. I do not send my advice on bunker busters, so I think it would be best if everyone just cuts these split ends from their ponytail happiness, and we're gonna pass it back to you, Lainey.
Well, thank you, Baz. You know, if you don't pay for your kids, you don't get to play international tag with your ex. So, if you're committed to being in control, try controlling your own obligations. And if your brother wants to defend a man who financially ghosts his own niece and nephew, then he can join him in the group chat titled, Why Am I Single? Coming up next, a Florida man escapes the police by driving into a swamp, only to be immediately arrested by an alligator. The gator's now the new sheriff. Oh my goodness, folks, only in Florida. Only in Florida. This is W-EMU. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm 14. I've never been on a date, but I have been in 6 Reddit arguments, and my mom says I'm very mature for my age. So when your boyfriend doesn't text you back for like 12 minutes, that means he's cheating, obviously. You need to send a 47-paragraph message to the man to explain what he was doing in 1996. Or, and hear me out, make a burner account. Message his mom. Get answers. You followed my advice. Now you're single, banned from 3 subreddits, and somehow owe $600 in DoorDash charges. Your cat hates you. Your ex is thriving. You've got a framed screenshot of you up, and you are not.
You trusted someone whose biggest life decision was which Mountain Dew flavor to chug on Twitch. That's not advice. That's a cry for help building a follower count. And finally tonight on W-EMU, folks, we are asking the question that's plaguing Hollywood executives and suburban dads with AMC stock. Why don't people go back to the movies? And more importantly, why in the world are ads trying to get us back in their doors with all this nonsense about convenience? You've seen them, right? Scrolling through Netflix is hard. Microwave popcorn's impossible. No one can make it. Wouldn't it be just so much easier if we can get dressed, leave the house, find parking, buy popcorn, as long as we can skip the ticket counter and pick our seat from the convenience of our own home, where we were before we left for this terribly convenient time watching a movie. Look, movie theaters have one actual selling point. It's the experience, the big screen, the booming THX certified ear vibrating bass. You know that weird moment during the trailers where you can hear a stranger unwrapping something forbidden like a rotisserie chicken? It's magic! So why are they marketing it like it's a dental app? Check in early, use our kiosks, get points. I'm here for cinematic escape, not a rewards program. All right, let's go to Baz. He's standing outside an abandoned Regal Cinemas next to a QR code for a loyalty app, which nobody's downloaded since 2019. Baz!
Thanks, Laney. It does not look good. Look, I've got about a bazillion opinions about this, and this is going to be about 10,000 of them. I spoke with a marketing rep who said their new campaign is all about convenience. Her words, "We want people to know going to the theater is just like staying home, but much better because of possible streaming and subscription issues." So that's it? Not that your house might be on fire from a spider sighting or a network lag or toilet gremlins? Okay, so this movie ticket service, shall we name it? How about we say it rhymes with my dingo ate my baby? They have a new ad. Maybe you've seen it. It is telling you all about how miserable it is to sit home and stream. You have network issues. You have subscription issues. You have ad issues. Okay, that one's valid, assuming the theater's going to skip their usual 49 and a half minutes of ads and trailers. Those don't count to some. To me, they do. An ad is an ad, if you ask me. I did not select it, which means it is not what I asked for. Now, do you want to sell more movie tickets? Great. Here's how, you group of marketing hacks. Sell the experience. You don't go to a movie theater because they have IT support in every employee they hire. You go to the movie theater for a screen you measure in feet or meters. You go for a dark setting where, in pure hypothesis only, somebody is there to keep others from running their mouths during the movie or turning lights on, and whatever crap it is that makes you unable to enjoy a movie at home. You want a booming sound system that doesn't require you to wear headphones so you don't wake up Bonnie again because she sleeps until 1 p.m. on weekends and 3 p.m. on weekdays. You want to feel the story in your bones. You have easily accessible food depending on your income bracket. So, Laney, this is what I call a horrible failure on the marketing execs of My Dingo Corporation. I think that maybe the whole world has become so damn negative that even the people who are supposed to wrap everything in Laffy Taffy and unicorn farts have turned into a simple shit-slinging method of everything sucks, so let us handle this method of sales. Back to you, Laney.
Exactly. Stop telling us it's convenient. Staying home in your undies is convenient. Tell us it's worth it. Tell us it's thunder in your chest and 400 strangers gasping at the same twist. Because if your best sales pitch is, you can use your phone while doing it, then congratulations, you've just described a urinal. All right, next time, join us for when a local man refuses to leave the theater during a fire drill because he paid for the reclining seats and Dolby Atmos, not fresh air. We'll let you know if he survived. Catch you next time. This Friday on The Banned and the Banished, the subreddit wedding is off after Kyle finds out his fiance's flare was removed for karma farming.
And Declan's identical mod clone, not so identical. He's been shadow banning users in their sleep.
Meanwhile, Robin returns from Permaban Island with a shocking announcement. She's pregnant with a repost?
And the family lawyer, turns out he was an auto mod filter all along.
It's betrayal. It's up votes. It's emotionally manipulative, and we'll be watching.
Like, subscribe, and share, because nothing says romance like a good old thread lock.
Coming this Friday to W-EMU, The Banned and the Banished. Bring tissues and bring flair.